Welcome back. President-elect Trump rounding out his cabinet after his decisive election victory, officially nominating Marco Rubio for the Secretary of State role and picking Michael Waltz, Florida representative, to be his national security advisor. Both picks are harsh critics of China. The Wall Street Journal writes this: Trump is recruiting a team of China hawks, so why is Beijing relieved? They write President-elect Donald Trump is putting together what some China hawks call a tough-on-China dream team. Still, from Beijing's perspective, it could have been worse. People who consult with senior Chinese officials say that for now, at least Beijing is relieved that several Republicans considered particular threats by the Communist Party, include former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, are not in the mix. Joining me now is Gatestone Institute senior fellow and author of Plan Red, China's Project to Destroy America, Gordon Chang, back with us. Gordon, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mike Pompeo was the one who shut down the Houston embassy, told us that China was inside the gates and was really harsh in terms of, his treatment of China. He's not there, but what do you make of the others? Is this the dream team, hawks on China?
Well, they certainly are, both Rubio and Waltz. And this shows you how much the landscape on China has changed when Beijing could be relieved when severe China critics are appointed to important positions. The days of Henry Kissinger, when he advocated all this cooperation with the Chinese, those are so over because China delegitimized those people who wanted to have, quote unquote, friendly relations. So this is good.
What did you want to say about agriculture right now?
Well, right now you have China buying up large tracts of agriculture and farmland, and no American can buy a square inch in China. So I hope that the new administration comes in through a number of different ways, not only laws, but also using CFIUS, the Treasury-led interagency panel, to make sure that the Chinese don't buy farm and ranch land.
That's a great point, that the U.S. has no role, no opportunity to do the same. You have a new op-ed in The Hill. It's titled, "To China, Trump is Poison." You write this: to the dismay of Chinese leaders who already had to deal with Trump for 4 years, they have not gotten the preferred outcome. They fear they can't talk to Trump through their upper class friends in America, and they want him nowhere near the lower rungs of China. Tell us more about this.
Well, the important thing about Trump is that Chinese people really love him. And it's not because of what he advocates. They don't like what he advocates. But the point is, he is so different from their leaders. Xi Jinping is scripted. He doesn't go out in public very often. He speaks in ideological tones. Trump is just sort of unscripted. He's just fresh air. It's like a gale force wind. Chinese people look at him and contrast him with their lifeless leaders, and they say, he's the guy we like. And that's very important for the Communist Party because they are worried about the inspirational impact of Americans on the Chinese people because the regime is so insecure.
Yeah, and I say this a lot, but Trump really set the tone in his first term when he invited Xi Jinping to Mar-a-Lago. And they had dinner together at Mar-a-Lago, and during dessert, when they were having, as Trump told me, the most beautiful chocolate cake that you've ever seen, he dropped this comment to Xi Jinping saying, oh, by the way, we just sent 13 strikes to Syria because Bashar used chemicals on his people. And, Xi Jinping apparently turned to the translator and said, have him repeat that. He did. He repeated it. But that was the kind of action that Trump took to set the tone for Xi Jinping. Yes,
and Xi Jinping was relatively well behaved during the 4 years that Trump was in the Oval Office. It was when Biden came in that Xi Jinping and his good friend Vladimir Putin decided they were going to set the world on fire. So it's no coincidence that for the last 12 days or so, China has been very quiet in the East China Sea and South China Sea. This is really good news. I don't think it'll hold, but I think they're very worried about Trump. They're giving him a wide berth, and they're not doing all of those provocative acts that we have seen so much of over the last 4 years.
Well, look what happened over the last 4 years. You had a spy balloon travel across America and hover around our military installations. You had the fentanyl trade pickup. You had the Chinese, organized crime working with the drug cartels to make sure that they're doing drug trafficking and sex trafficking. The list is long. What else?
Yeah, well,
bullying our service people.
Well, and also trying to poison the American political system, as we've seen in this city, in this state, especially. trying to weaponize ethnic Chinese. So this is an important point where we have China using every point of contact to try to take down our society, whether we're talking about farmland or we're talking about the senior advisor to the governor of New York.
So let's talk about the world's largest battery maker, Chinese company CATL, CATL, now considering building a plant in the United States if Trump allows it. The company's founder and chairman told Reuters he's open-minded to investing in the United States. Now, you know that Trump has floated the idea of allowing Chinese and other foreign car makers to build plants in the United States and hire American workers. Gordon, what about this, having China have its factory here in the U.S.?
Well, CATL, certainly not. You know, CATL, battery maker. Goshen, another Chinese battery maker, has plants in Michigan and Illinois. During the campaign, J.D. Vance came in and said, no, we should not allow these Goshen plants in our country. So I don't think they're going to allow CATL in either. And as for Chinese car makers, that's a non-starter, I think, with the American people, because we know that the Chinese engage in these predatory practices. They've been driving Detroit to the wall. I don't think we're going to let them inside the wall.
If I'm driving a car that was made in China, are they recording everything?
Well, if it's, yes. And that's one of the
things. They're recording me in my car.
They're recording you in their car. They're getting all that data about where you're driving and all sorts of patterns. They're using that because they're planning attacks on America. You mentioned the spy balloon. That went over U.S. nuclear weapons facilities. It's just, we can't allow this.
Yeah, and I think they were sending information back in real time while they were hovering over the military installation. Go ahead.
I know you say this is all, this is all really scary stuff, and you say that they're going to sort of behave, you said, for now. What do you expect is going to happen over the next, you know, as the Trump administration gets started? Because is it just a window? Are they going to start misbehaving again, or what? Where are we going here?
The problem is you have so many domestic pressures inside of China right now to cause Xi Jinping to lash out. You have these extraordinary bike riding movement in the central part of China. You have the detention, a rumored detention of a senior Communist Party admiral who is very influential. He's on the party's Central Military Commission. All sorts of things are going wrong inside China. That guy who killed 35 people with his car, that shows you Chinese society right now is very volatile. Xi Jinping may have to react to that in his mind, going after some country or maybe even the United States.
President Biden is now heading to the APEC summit. Gordon, I want to get your take on this. The summit is in Lima, Peru. He's going to be meeting with a dozen world leaders. He'll have a one-on-one with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Saturday. The Associated Press says that Biden is headed to the summit with a diminished reputation and that Trump's victory has, quote, pulled the rug out from under the lame duck Democrat. Your reaction? What's going to happen with him meeting with Xi Jinping in China? In Peru for this meeting?
Yeah, I don't think very much is going to come out of this because, you know, Biden is leaving his office and Trump has come in with a resounding victory. APEC, the meeting where they are, is a talk shop. Nothing ever happens at an APEC meeting. And nothing ever good happens when an American president talks to a Chinese one, at least during the Biden administration. So I don't think we're going to see any good come out of this. They'll try to constrain the United States by coming to agreements, maybe. But Trump will not respect that, and he shouldn't. He should not.
Well, he's leaving office. They don't need him anymore.
Yeah, they don't need him anymore.
There you go. Gordon, thank you.